Happy Saturday, happy weekend, love beings. So much love from my heaven on earth here. And today's message is about my journey in Nigeria and about depression and how people in Nigeria living in a tribal mentality in a post-colonial era truly did not experience depression from what I observed. And if you take 100, the population of Nigeria is an estimated 160 million people. You take that many people, of course, somehow depression will exist. But how come they weren't a society that dependent on antidepressants? Thankfully, they can't afford it. So big pharma doesn't really work on the Nigerian population, with the exception of immunization products and vaccines, which are extremely toxic and harmful. But in terms of depression, at least, people healed themselves in community, in tribe. So you have family, you have a society that didn't struggle, as poor as they are, extreme poverty, living on 50 cents per day. They didn't have to take antidepressants or painkillers to survive, just to survive, mind, body, spirit. So the message that I want to share with you today is, why did this mentally warped, really still kid, end up killing all these children and the teachers and all the ones who were killed at this Florida shooting? Why was this crime committed in its atrocity? And why is it one of many crimes that are committed against our humanity and against our culture here in the US? You take the concept of divide and conquer, the oldest tool in the books of warhood, of warfare, and you apply it to gender dynamics, and you apply it to the innocent. They try to constantly divide and conquer between man and woman, child and adult, black, white, any color, take it. Creating constantly an other and creating conflict with the other. That, divide and conquer, the oldest tool on human war. It's a warfare. We live in a spiritual war. We've been living in a spiritual war, but now is the time for good. And just to zoom out a bit, we are all one. So we're all playing our roles perfectly on the larger stage of life. So in essence, it is impossible for us to hate each other because we all come from the same consciousness. And yet, there's so much division and there's so much hatred, at least the talk of it, right? And there are the millions of us and the billions who are like, no, we're pro-love, we're pro-humanity, we're pro-consciousness and love for all. Tutu, I love you. So how is it that one person can create so much damage and so much fear in humanity? We allow fear to come in. We allow fear to dominate our lives when fear is unnecessary. Fear is a tool that will continue to create divide and conquer. And a divided society is a society that's sick. So now is the time for us to accept our oneness. And the reason I've posted the thing about the different species that coexisted is that not just black, white, young, old, man, woman existed during all the Homo erectus, Homo sapien, the times where we coexisted as just a monkey, a gorilla, a time where we're like mammals, like, making fire. And even that story is fascinating. And this is like the carbon dating. But also, 30,000 years ago, the pyramids were built and Petra was built in Jordan. We have evidence of alien existence with the animal existence, right? So it's complex. but it's also simple. The human experiment, if you will, in this holographic matrix where nothing is real and nothing really exists, and yet we give value to so much. So what is valuable to you today? Is it being in tribe, in community? I mean, people have been trained that if you live alone, that's you being successful, like the American mentality. Oh, you need to live alone and be independent and have a full-time job and blah, blah, blah. And this is how it looks like, and that's when you're successful. Whereas if you live with family or members of your tribe, it's considered like, oh, you're not living the empire dream, which is such nonsense. To not be lonely, to not need the pills. It is essential that we live in community and really practice love, think love and practice love. Just like the Nigerians did, living on 50 cents a day, die from Western and big pharma diseases that were manufactured and tested on the African people, and yet they persevere. They don't have depression, so they don't need antidepressants and they don't need pills. Those are empire diseases, right? So we're paying the price of being in an expiring, collapsing matrix empire. And now it's our time to reclaim what is good for us, to live in tribe, to live in community, and to grow our own foods and to love more. And so it is. So the message is, let us learn from the African nation. Let us learn from West Africa, from Nigeria, and let us be in tribe and see how that works for us. We have immense resources where we could live forever per our spirits. We're infinite beings in our essence, but we can live in the physical realm and live happily without depression, without killing each other. Let us learn from tribe. I love you all so very much. If I can shine a light on your path, contact me, book a session, and kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. I love you all so very much.